Spoilers! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Immortal Cave and sandwichtrust.blogspot.ca. As usual, I'll put a link to my blog in the description. My apologies for the lateness of this. Unfortunately, because of my work schedule, I'm having to catch them on PSN, and quite frankly, whenever PSN decides to update is their business, not mine, unfortunately. So, if a couple of these come up a couple days late, my apologies. But right now, I'm here to talk about Under the Lake, which was an excellent frickin' episode. They didn't expect it was going to be another two-parter, and I'm not sure how I feel about that yet, but I'll get to that later. Um, let's just get right into it. This is really good. I thought this was really well done, actually, to the point where it was unsettling, it was weird, it was really cool. It had a lot. It was just going down the check marks, the check boxes of really good writing for this type of episode. So I really like it. Where do I even start? I guess generally the plot. The plot generally was good. Again, this is part one of a two-parter thing, so we're not going to know 100% how things are going to go until the next episode. But the concept of this being inside of a suspended animation box, the concept of these ghosts, the concept of the coordinates, everything is just, it's a perfect kind of mystery for this type of episode. It was reminding me a lot of Waters of Mars almost, which it is. It does remind me a lot of Waters of Mars, but at the same time, it's got more of a almost like Hyde. But I would say this is tremendously better than Hyde. Waters of Mars, I'm not so sure about, but um, what else do I talk about here? Generally, the plot was really good. It of course ends on the cliffhanger that Clara sees the ghost of the Doctor. It's a really clever one because we know it's going to start off and we're going to see things from the past. Kind of similar to last week, I guess. Kind of similar to the Which is Familiar, but again, I'm holding my breath on to see exactly where the plot goes. How are the characters done? Well, the first of all, I'll start with kind of the sub actors or the underwater actors, I should say. Um, they're all fine. I think they did fine jobs. The captain, the deaf captain, which I think was the first deaf actress to be on Doctor Who, I think. She did fine. I think they did exceptionally well with how they did it. I think it's cool the fact that she's obviously a deaf actress, and I think everything went really well with her. The only character that I really had annoyance with was obviously the oil broker, who got kind of served twice. Number one, he got killed, which we all love to see the douchebag get killed in horror movies, so I'll take it. And the other thing being, what was it the doctor said exactly? He's saying like, that we've got like trillions of dollars of machinery down here. I don't care how much danger's down here. I have to stay and preserve the money. And I think the doctor just goes up to him. It's okay, I understand. You're an idiot, and just walks away. And I have to admit that was priceless. Um, the enemies themselves, and I'm getting, of course, doing all this before I get to Doctor and Clara. The enemies themselves, the ghosts, or I'm assuming they're not ghosts, since obviously the Doctor isn't dead. Uh, First of all, I would have regenerated, but that's neither here nor there. Um, I find it intriguing, the kind of the design. I like the blacked out eyes. I think it's unnerving. It's it is creepy, but it's not scary. I'll word it that way. I don't find it particularly scary. I do find it super unnerving. It wasn't for a horror episode. It wasn't that scary, but it was enjoyable, and the enemies are a good foil. I'll word it that way. Now, obviously, a lot of the stuff with the plot and everything, it kind of makes me think that these are some kind of a radio signal. It's not strictly a ghost per se. It's going to end up being like some kind of Oh, I don't know. Some kind of a... I don't know. Obviously, they're not ghosts, because obviously the Doctor's not going to be dead, because there's an episode 5 of this season. So, duh. I am curious what exactly the solution is. I'm assuming he may have gone back and been like, so it's not actually ghosts, you don't actually have to die to be one, sign me up. I don't know. This episode also has probably one of the best running jokes of the entire series, of the entire things, and I hope this becomes. Well, no, I don't hope it becomes a running joke. I hope it pops up like once more, maybe. Which is the Doctor is getting all excited about ghosts, and then one of them says, you know, one of them was our friend. He died when this all first started, and immediately Clara just pulls him aside, and goes, the cue cards, the cue cards. He takes out a bunch of cards in his jacket, which are all apologies. Like, they're literal sympathy cards. I love it. Like, I'm sorry your family was your family member slash relative slash your relative slash lover slash whatever was killed by the insert enemy name here. Like, it was just so clever, and I got a really good laugh out of it. But now we're getting into the meat of the thing, and something that a lot of people, and I'm going to touch on this, and I think this is one of the more important things, is the sonic sunglasses. Now, a lot of people are pretty sore about this. There's a petition, for God's sakes, to get rid of the sonic sunglasses, bring the sonic screwdriver back. Now, and I want you all to listen to me on this one, please. I think this is a knee-jerk reaction, because I'm going to be honest with you, as long as it's a 12th Doctor thing, or even just a this season thing, but I really do hope it's kind of a 12th Doctor thing. Just like a little quirk for him. I think it's a great idea. Give him something different. You know, it makes him a little bit more unique, and quite frankly, I like the idea of sonic sunglasses better than just a scanning wand, because if he has the actual sunglasses and he can use those, he could see things on them. You know, he can see the statistics of it. He can see specifics. He can see things like that. I think in terms of a scanning device, it's genius using a pair of glasses. So I think from a statistical point, it's brilliant. I think from a stylistic point, or a tonal point, for the 12th Doctor to have a pair of sunglasses that do the exact same thing as a sonic screwdriver, I think that's genius. I think it's a really good idea. Not to mention the fact that, may I remind you, the 11th Doctor did have something similar. He had a pair of sunglasses which let him see in thermal. Now, yes, he didn't actually remove the screwdriver from the equation. He still had the sonic screwdriver. But really, I think that this is a good idea. I remember back when Let's Kill Hitler aired, and I believe the 11th Doctor brought out a sonic cane. And the first thought that went through my head was, wow, that'd be really cool and unique for him to have. Now, I really like the idea of a different sonic device, just to make a Doctor seem a little bit different from the crew. May I remind you, this is a different regeneration cycle as well, so maybe they could do something a bit different. I think this is a knee-jerk. Nothing but a knee-jerk. I think if people take their time and actually stop to think about it, and just go, it's part of the series, it's been part of it since the 50th, or the 60th, it's the big thing, it's like you wouldn't change the TARDIS, you wouldn't. Here's the thing. I think, I don't know why that voice was, by the way, the one I went for with the whiny people. Not that they're bad people. I'm trying to... This is what happens when I try to be PC. Fuck it. Look, I think if people give it time... Number one, I think by the end of the season he's going to end up having the screwdriver back anyway, because the entire plot point of him losing it had to do with Davros, and it's obvious that during Hellbent and Heaven Sent, he's probably going to get it back. Because it's obvious Davros and the Master are coming back at the end of the season, because they left at a kind of a cliffhanger with that. So, I think it is a completely knee-jerk reaction. I think if people take their time and kind of think about it and just go, from an actual standpoint um, of an actual, like, a device, from the standpoint of a a scanning device, and from logically speaking, this is a good idea. And I think if even it's only for the season, I wish it was actually for this Doctor. Now, granted, this might be the rest of the Doctor's reign for all we know. Again, I'm still a little paranoid. But then again, watch every time I get fan theory ish. Moffat says, no, I'm not going to do that. And every time I say, well, fine, you're not going to do anything, and then he brings out the Master, and then Davros. Anyway, I'm a little out of breath right now. Like I said, this is a great episode. I can't wait for the next episode. I think I can't remember what the next part's called. But I know this was something I wasn't sure what to make of at first. I think it's genius, though. It reminds me of a very well-crafted kind of horror situation. The enemies are freaky enough that I can understand people getting freaked out by them. I'll grant you that. And I think whatever's going on with this whole situation, I'm very curious how it's going to resolve. Because it seems like there's not that much left to it. But then, of course, at the very end, well, let's just throw in a whole massive wrinkle into this. But anyway, I've gone on for long enough. This is a great episode. Everything in this was fantastic. And for the love of God, people, give the sunglasses a chance. I'm serious. Because obviously they filmed for the rest of the season. They aren't changing it by the end of the season anyway. He might end up getting it back. So everybody, calm the fuck down. Put on your calm hat. Sit down. Relax. It's not going anywhere. Even if it does for the rest of for the 12 Doctors era, 13's going to pick it back up. Again, I still think the Sonic Cane would have been cool. I still think the Sonic Cane's a cool idea. If the next Doctor actor's older, give him a Sonic Cane. It's still a Sonic device. It's still carrying on the name. It's not... Okay, I'm ranting now. Give it a chance is all I'm saying. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll also see you for next week for the conclusion of this two-parter. I'm pretty sure every single freaking episode this season is a two-parter, mother... Fuck. Anyway. I shall see you next week. I think I'm off next Saturday night, so hopefully I'll actually have this up on Saturday night instead of Monday morning. I'll see you then.